Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria. If this happens to be your first time visiting, welcome to Siempre Infinitos DIY. So today I'm going to share with you how I did my cake mixer. If you followed my last two videos, then you notice on the first one I pre-recorded that from Facebook and I share with you how I put it together. On the second video, I shared with you how I made the cookbook. And this third video, well, as you can see, it's going to be the cake mixer. The cake mixer that I shared with you in the beginning of the video, that that cake mixer, I got it from the dollar store. I also know that Walmart carries them, but I got mine from the dollar store. So all I did with it was just place it in front of me, and then I went ahead and drew it to my best, my piece, but also realized later that if you were to lay it down on top of your styrofoam, then you can just perhaps trace it, if that would be easier to do than to just eyeball it and try to make sure that you draw the pieces the same size. All right, so I am going to be using clay, and this is foam clay, foam air clay. I just wanted to make sure that it's conditioned, and later you will notice that in a little bit actually, you will notice that there were some bubbles in there. That means that I did not condition my clay long enough. But that was okay because I just went ahead and grabbed a piece of tool and then just popped them and continued to mold my piece. In this case, is covering my piece. All right, so as you saw there, I just went ahead and lapped the clay over using a pair of scissors to trim off whatever piece of clay that I will not be needing. And then I just continued doing this over and over until I try to get it as smooth as possible. Now, because of video purposes, oh, there goes the bubble I was talking about. Because of video purposes, I went ahead and just continued doing the whole thing without letting it dry first. And if I would have to do this again, I know for sure I will let it dry completely before I would go in and add the rest of the pieces or put all pieces together and then go with that. Here I'm just using this rolling pin and just rolling it out as much as I can. And this is why I was saying that I should have just let it dry, because the clay the clay being too soft, I kept leaving like dents in there, finger dents. So but that was fine because it dried and they disappeared. But I just kept getting worried that I was probably putting them in too deep or something. So I definitely will let it dry next time when I'm going to be dealing with a clay that is this soft. If you're wondering where I got my clay from or what clay I'm using, I am using Debbie's Bright Ideas clay. So I will be leaving her link to her Etsy shop over underneath in the description box down below. All right, so usually I don't like using glue. Most of y'all know this, but if you're new to my channel, then I don't like to use glue because to me I feel like if the clay is too soft, it's going to hold on its own, and if the piece is not that big. But in this case, because the piece is pretty big than usual, and I'm adding pieces together rather than just one piece, I just went ahead and used glue, and I also use some toothpicks, and that's going to secure the piece down better. And then here I'm adding, my goodness, I don't know what these things called, but they're part of the blender. I don't know what they're called, but I'll add that to the video here. But anyway, so the way I did this, I just grabbed a piece of stick, and the type of stick that I actually grabbed was those like the barbecue ones. What do you call it? Oh my goodness, I'm going blank right now. The shish kebab sticks. Yeah, I just went ahead and grabbed one, and I just, as you saw, made a little ball, placed it on top, and then just rolled it back and forth until I got the clay all on there. And then I stick that right underneath. Now I'm going to be adding a strip that's going to cover where both ends meet. And that's going to be one on the top and then one at the bottom. Another thing that I also realized that I didn't share with you what I used to cut my styrofoam with, and I just use a regular kitchen knife. If you don't want to use a kitchen knife, then you can use one of those poodle knives that they sell at the Dollar Tree, I believe. Yes, at the Dollar Tree, they do sell them there. And they work just as great. So the other thing that I also did not share, that I'm so sorry, but for whatever reason, I did not, or I wasn't really recording when I added the strip that goes on the top. And that strip, I also added a on and off switch. So hopefully at the end of the video, you'll be able to see it. If the oven mitten is not covering it up. I'm sorry, I had to think about what that mitten was called. Anyways, so yeah, and here what I'm using is just an icing spreader, and I like to use that whenever I have to cut long strips because it cuts so well, and I really prefer it to cut it, like it cuts it quicker than if I were to use just my standard kitchen knife. Again, guys, if you are new to fake baking, and whatever tools you use that are like kitchen, please no longer take them back to the kitchen. Keep them in your craft room because, even though you rinse them out and wash them, it's not really good. And, to use them in the kitchen and then come and use them in your craft rooms. In the beginning, when I was first doing this, I didn't know this. And then I heard someone mention it and I was like, you know what? They actually have a point. All right. So this is going to be the bowl. And if you guys saw one of my previous videos where I did a couple of bowls, I use the top lid of a coffee cup. It worked great. And as you can see here, all I did was just get a piece of styrofoam and then a piece of cardboard, trace the cardboard the size of my lid there, and I'm going to be placing that inside the middle. So here I am using some more clay from Debbie's Bright Ideas foam clay, and I'm just going to go right ahead and cover that. Now the hole that where you insert the straw, that really doesn't matter if it shows or not, if there's a hole in there or what have you. Because it's going to be covering up, you're not going to even be able to see it. This is going to be glued down to your piece, so it really doesn't matter. The reason I'm going to be adding something in the middle is because I don't want to waste that much clay. And you know how if you've been doing a lot of crafting with foam clay, you can, I'm sure by now that it's pretty expensive. It gets pretty expensive, so we have to try to save as much clay as possible. So here, again, I'm just going to cover the outside with my clay, and then I'm going to go right ahead and add that piece of cardboard inside. And then I want it to look like I'm making a cookie batter. So I'm going to mix brown and white together, and I'm going to add that inside my bowl. And real quick, I want to take a chance to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. And for everyone who's been following me from the beginning, thank you as well for continuing to support my channel. I really appreciate you guys, and I especially appreciate the lovely comments you leave. So with all of that being said, let's get back to the video. All right, so here is the clay that I'm just going to mix this two clays together because I wanted to make it look like, again, I'm making some cookie dough, and I want to leave it, like some white spots there, as you can see there. I was going to add some like pieces of little darker brown to make it look like chocolate chips. It dried up on me and I totally forgot to do that. But that's fine, in case, well, if you want to make this, if you're going to make this, you can add some chocolate, not chocolate, some darker brown pieces so that I can make it look like chocolate chip, or you can make yours whatever color. Maybe you want to make some strawberry cupcakes, and you want to add some pink and white. But I think it is also kind of gives me the look of coffee, doesn't it? So as you can see here, all I'm going to do is just place this in there. The clay, again, it is the blue bowl. That clay, it's soft, so I don't need to worry about adding any glue to it. So once I figure out how I'm going to push that in there, then yes, and then I'm just going to place it in there. I did go in later, as you can see there, and I added some dots to it. And there's the little switch that I was telling you about. So thank you so much, friends. And as you can see, there's the cord as well. I did not record it that. But thank you anyways for stopping by. I hope to see you on the next video. So take care. Be safe. Bye.